So when you're calling the buyer on a property like Hemlock that had a million offers and it went 150,000 over asking, you simply say, "Great, that's the house. You like that house? You want to say, great." Before we, get you into a house, that house or any house, we need to jump on a quick call. It could be a phone call if you just want to qualify them, right, and compel them to want to meet with you on Zoom. Um, and so I'm just curious. So just so we're clear, you're not working with an agent right now, correct? Okay, because I couldn't talk to you if you are. Like minute, it's always the first question you ask. You're not already signed with an agent, correct? It's not. Are you signed with an agent? It's you're not already signed with an agent, correct? No, I'm not. If they're not, they're not, right? Great. I can talk to you. So that house had 23 offers on it, and it went way above asking. I'm not technically supposed to tell you, but let's just say for discussion's sake, it went 150,000 over asking. And I have a question for you. If I took you to that house, you saw the pictures, you see the pictures, if that house were everything you thought it was from when you saw it online, and it was just perfect, and all the planets aligned, and it was absolutely like the house for you, and I told you, listen, there's going to be a lot of offers. You got to make a bid for it. What do you think your top offer would have been if you were involved in that bidding process? Whatever they answer. Oh, that was our top number. Oh, we were prepared to maybe pay 30,000 over. Good offer. Always support. Repeat and approve. Repeat and approve. That's how you get alignment. Oh, 30,000 over. Wow, that's amazing. That's a really solid offer. Good for you. Because it is, right? I mean, anyone who's willing to pay 30,000 over ask is great. And so you already know that they're not signed with anyone. You're sharing with them kind of the situation, and you're kind of just pressure testing with the conversation. All this is helping you get into a position of authority, a counselor, an advisor, and a powerful agent who can be the solution to their challenge, right? Their challenge is they've been looking. Now, I'm just curious, how long have you guys been looking? And I say it with, I make the face. They can't see my face, but I got to make that face because otherwise, now, Jasmine's very animated when she talks to people. So I don't know if she has to really make the face. She's just very she's very animated. So her voice, anyway. I have to make that face. So how long have you been looking? Like, oh, we've been looking for whatever the answer is. You know, wow, wow, 4 months. Oh, wow. Have you put any offers in those 4 months? Yes. Tells me they maybe put an offer in that with an agent that just signed them up for a one-off like we do, right? And tell what happened with that offer. You always want to go 3 layers deep on that. If they answer no, okay, no. I mean, there's not really many layers deep. Maybe the second layer is, so how many houses have you seen in person by appointment, or has it just been with the open houses? You're kind of really getting them super qualified, even though you're in a conversation. You're kind of moving these pieces around, trying to understand where the pieces of the puzzle fit. Um, oh, we've been looking 4 months, but it's only been online. We've just been like on the side, like just kind of looking at things. We're getting ready to get out there. Okay, so you're all right, good. So you're online. You're very smart, really, to kind of like just see what the landscape looks like before you dip your toes in the pool. Very, very smart thing to do. Repeat and approve, right? I approved on that. And again, it's different for every step of it. Like if they're just kind of searching online, they haven't actually gone out. They haven't. Oh, we just mainly searching online. We've gone to 2 or 3 open houses. Their first base is just looking online. Second base is maybe going to some open houses. Third base is they put a couple offers in. And they're stuck at third base. They've lost offers, or third base between. They're caught between third and home. They put offers in, they got bumped out of attorney review, right? So there's various levels and there's various responses, right? But let's just go to they're in the beginning stages. You know, especially if they don't know what they're in for. I would briefly, just as brief as I want this call, this little session to be, I would briefly keep it brief to say, listen, can I share with you how this typically works? And then I'm going to make a suggestion. Fair enough. Fair enough is a great tie down. Sure. So most people, we have been doing this for over 2 decades, you know, nearly 23 years. Just use my experience. We've been doing this for over 2 decades, nearly 23 years. And what we have found is there's two types of buyers. The one type of buyer is kind of, just checking things out, and they start going out, and then they start going open houses, and then they meet a nice agent, right? I don't know if that's a great agent, but a nice agent, and they build a little bit of a kind of a cool little bond, and then they start going out, and maybe they go to another open house without that agent, and then they meet another agent, and now they got a couple agents sending them emails, and a lot of times they're also sending some emails to other agents, and they may or may not be able to find the right house, and if they do, they put an offer in, and they get bumped out of, they don't win, and before you know it, it's 6 months or a year later, and they get frustrated. I mean, this happens a lot, actually. This more often than I care to admit. The other scenario is an agent meets a really good, strong, powerful agent, and that agent is rooted in education, arming you with facts and figures, and how to get this done successfully. I guess the question I have is, would you prefer to go out and look at 30 or 40 homes and not buy one, or would you prefer to actually go out and look at like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 homes at the most, and those all be really great homes, and you actually buy one of them? Well, of course I want to do that. I mean, questions you ask are like ridiculous, like attorney leading the client questions on the stand, right? They're like, obviously, right? Um, Right, exactly. I mean, obviously you'd want to do that. So would I. May I make a suggestion? What's that? So I've kind of like just you know qualified them, poked around, taken some notes. Then I kind of gave them the scenario, the ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what like the other way it is, right? May I make a suggestion? What's that? Sure, what's that? So we tend to take people through the latter of those two scenarios. We love to sit down with a buyer in advance, invest, 20, 30 minutes, and really go over how this works so that we call it a buyer success strategy session, and rather than have it take you 6, 12, 18 months, we've seen people where they're looking for 12 or 15 months, and then they put it on hold for a year and a half because they just get so frustrated they can't figure it out. And all the while, prices are going up, right? So we do what we call a buyer success strategy session. It allows me to help you understand the entire process up front so you know fully what you're getting into. And then we understand exactly what you want and need. Many cases, we actually have sellers who are not yet on the market, and they're not entirely opposed to letting you get into that house without having to be one of 23 offers. Do you feel that might be something that would be valuable to you? Oh yeah. So do you think maybe it makes sense we set up a time where we can, maybe either get in person or jump on Zoom, whatever's easier for you, and do that buyer success strategy. So there's no commitment, obviously, no obligation, no commitment. Doesn't cost anything. You don't owe me anything for it. What we find is by educating buyers, it makes our job easier, right? It helps you win, and we actually win too. It's a win-win. Does that make sense? They're like, yeah, okay, great. I have tomorrow at 3, or is 5:30. Like boom, always either or on the appointments. So that's how you would call and talk to somebody who wants a property, any property, quite frankly, any buyer call that comes in, but also especially one like, I could easily be like, the opposite. And I've done this for years. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars every year when I wasn't, and I didn't really have a team. And I just like, I would list 30, 40 properties and I get all these calls coming in on my properties. And I'm like, yeah, no, I got an offer on that. I don't want to deal with buyers. Down the drain. Somebody else, I'm sure they all bought houses, you know? And so, but I just had a different mindset back then. So that's how you do it. We'll put this recording up. It should be helpful.